Hey there, Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan, and we're looking at a 2010 Ford Explorer SLT. Now, I'm not too familiar with American cars, but this one here is a Japanese model that comes in left-hand drive. And so while Japan is a right-hand drive country, a lot of international cars will be sold here brand new in right-hand drive or left-hand drive. And so there are some differences between this and the American version, but I was already living in Japan in 2010, and so I'm not too aware of what is going on with these ones. It does have a V8 engine, it's a 4-liter. Okay, that is very engine-like. It's odd for me to take a look at American cars because there's so much that's unfamiliar to me. Most of the sales that we do are Japanese or German, with a spattering of French and Italian and American in this case. Okay, first thing that you'll notice, and this is almost comical, is that giant mirror that's hanging off of the front of that. This would be part of the Japanese package because this is, the Explorer is not that big in North America. It's about mid-size, right? But this is huge for Japan. And so a mirror like this gives you good visibility for where your corners are. So while you're sitting over there, you can look at this, and there's two mirrors in it. One of them shows you how far your nose is up against the wall, and the other one how far your front corner and side on this side is away from the curbs. And that's important for not hitting your curbs and your bumpers, and in this case it looks like it works. Also, another thing that's fun to look at, I don't know for sure, but I believe this piece here is a Japanese exclusive piece. Japan is very strict about how far their tires stick out, and while that tire doesn't stick out at all, I heard from an engineer at BMW who told me that these little strings on the tires count as part of the tire. And so because of those strings on a lot of BMW, and you'll notice it on Mercedes-Benz cars as well, they have to put on a new piece for the Japanese market exclusively. Kind of fun. Okay, so mechanically there's nothing wrong with it. It does have a dent in the door and a license plate bracket that is cracked. Not cracked, pardon me, rusty. Seat heaters. Switch the engine off. I'll come back to the interior in just a second. This one came with a locked fuel door and no key, which was quite annoying. Actually, I'll put these on the floor. But it's there's no cap to the fuel filter. I'm going to go translate the auction inspection sheet, but before I do that, I'm going to show you this because maybe I'm too old school, but this is really weird. And look, it says Buchan. No cap. And I think French is my favorite language to mispronounce. Okay, actually this one is going to France. And that's the next question that everybody always asks me. Who would buy an Explorer from Japan? And the answer is a lot of people want these American cars in different countries around the world that don't normally get, or they can be rather expensive in those countries. And Japan's an easy country to buy and export from because there's such a marketplace for it already. Okay, so 2010 Ford Explorer XLT, I said XLS, sorry, I am the American car guy, knowledge man. Option rated 4, interior B. It has a low gear ratio and a high gear ratio for the 4-wheel drive, which is pretty cool. Power steering, power windows, sunroof, leather, alloy wheels, airbag, spare key, warranty papers, owner's manual, history papers, navigation is aftermarket, and TV is aftermarket. The mileage is in kilometers, not in miles. When you're buying American cars from Japan, it's good to make sure that you got that. And it's 53,330, so very low mileage for a car that's now 11 years old. Okay, so the sales points here: 1 owner, navigation with TV tuner and reverse camera, cruise control, keyless entry, toll collection box, floor mats, 7-seater. I don't know if these come in 5 and 7, but I believe 7-seater was possibly the more common option for a car like this, if it was optional. Report here says very small scratches, small dents, wheel scratch, door mirror scratch. The door mirrors are made out of like the cheapest plastic. It kind of stands out, and they're a really silly shape. I guess they did it for aero reasons, but it kind of looks blobby and weird. And objects in mirror are closer than they appear. That's on the mirror over there. In Japan, we don't normally have that, but I think they left it on for styling purposes. Tail lens is cracked. I actually couldn't find it. I think it's just scratched and they made a mistake there. Interior dirty windshield, rock chip and interior wear. Underside light surface rust, and exterior is cloudy and shallow scratches. So the cloudy part Sup, Crow? What you doing? Take a look at the hood compared to the rest of the body. I don't think it's paint fade, but anything that is upward facing has that look to it. And I think it's like settled dust that has just been on there for a long time and has possibly affected the clear coat. You can most likely cut that off. Actually, if you look here, yeah, it kind of looks like you could polish it out. Okay, front bumper has an ouchie here. Oh, did I translate that? Let's see. Paint cracks. That's what I just showed you. Paint stains, paint stains, paint stains. Scratches here, scratches here. There are some odd scratches, but really this is the only area here that's a problem. There are scratches around here, scratch here, 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 and a little down here. Fairly sizable dent and some more scratches. These white marks are scratches. And the rest of the body looks really good, but that one dent really stands out, as you can see. Okay, we shall do a once around now. Very American looking. Very awkward in Japan. I think the new Bronco is going to kick all sorts of butt here in Japan. It's kind of the ideal type thing. Defenders are huge here. So big that they made a special Japanese only version of the classic Defender. Let me rephrase that. The version that was special that came in 1997, 98, and they didn't sell too many of them worldwide, were sold in North America and Japan, as kind of like, those are the two markets that really liked the special V8 version. And Japan's still the easiest place to get them because they sold them like crazy. They're just rather expensive. That mirror looks funny from this angle. I mean, you could take it off if you want, but if you're driving on tight roads, it certainly is handy, especially for parking. I park vehicles a lot with this job, and I'm still like, you don't want to be wrong with that. You don't want to assume that you have space when you don't, and then bump into something. That's why high aces are the best. If you look at the back of the high ace, there's a mirror, and it's super effective. You have mirror. It's super effective. Okay, cloudy headlights. Fog lights appear to be okay. Undercover pieces are undercover pieces. Not much to say there. Badge here is a little bit peeling. Okay. Paint stains. Paint stains from hard water. That's kind of weird. And there are some on the back too. You go down here, everything's looking really good. No problem. Has roof racks. And they are adjustable. I think that's the original. This one also has a sunroof on it. I quite like the interior of it. I find that Ford doesn't make good use of the space inside, but I think that might be part of the charm. It's like a very American feeling. Even like American Toyotas feel that way. Rust on the license plate holder piece, and then that has dripped down onto the paint, making paint stains. Also, around the badges has a weird, like, I think you can take the badge off and remove that. There's some sort of a weird substance in there. Also has a trailer hitch here. Rating will vary depending on the vehicle equipment. See owner's manual. Max tongue weight, 159 kilos. Max carry, 1,588 kilos. Let's go look at the front. And yep, left-hand drive. Very American feeling door handles. In all honesty, I don't like it. But must be popular in the America, and it gives it a unique feeling. Here's something I don't like about it. Take a look. It has this speaker in here, but then the whole panel is made out of these little dots. If you were to splash or spill something and get it in there, that would be very hard to clean out. And of course you can say, just don't drink anything in your car. Well, a lot of people who have a car like this are going to have kids in the back. And you can have a car that you don't let the kids drink in the back, but it makes your life really hard. And I know that firsthand. And the back of our van is disgusting. But it doesn't have any perforated holes in the sides. I feel like Ford has possibly even done that on purpose, because they know well enough what their customers like. And it's something like this. Definitely they know families are going to be using it. Seat heater. 2 temperatures. But then the back piece here is manual. So forward, back, up, and down is electronic. Angle of the back, manual. This one here is lumbar support. There's a nice chrome around the gauge set. Nice simple gauge set there. No climate control AC. I'm a bit surprised. I thought everything in the world had that, but it might only be Japan and Germany. Big shift lever. That's the American style. Big shift lever. Big chunky vents. Buttons that are really cheap to touch. Quite surprising, actually. It feels like the stereo that's the off-brand brand of stereo, right? Like you can get the Sony, or you can get another one that is a brand that you've never heard of, and then you press the buttons, it's like, yeah, those are the cheapest buttons you could buy, aren't they? Okay, Eclipse navigation unit there. Shifting is good. Has been smoked in, but doesn't smell like cigarettes. This is an odd feeling material to me. Same thing as on the steering wheel. Possibly even used to be here before it wore down a bit. Inside here, there's the broken thing from the fuel cap that I broke. Sorry. And an iPhone charger from the iPhone that came out in 2010. Okay. Back here, a little bit surprised about these seats. Usually you'll get a cushier seat than that. 60-40 split with the full shoulder belt for everything. Space inside, kind of small. But it's nice. I like the beige interior, I like the leather. You get your own vents up here, that's kind of different. These handles, I guess you would get used to it, but I don't like them at all. Weird. And it says Explorer, and it has that weird rubbery, yeah. Okay. Your own vents, your own cup holders, more cup holders in the back. Now the back seats, let's see. Okay, that was pretty easy. Look. Cargo mode, huge handle, stick your whole hand in there. Yeah. The seat, let's have a look. Okay. So that seat can pop out and flip up, but we currently have the headrest that's stuck in that position. Cargo mode. Oh, it just goes down like that. Huh, interesting. I don't hate it. But then you have a gap here. The back seats are like that right now. 1, 2. That was easy. Okay. And let's see about leg room back there. Now, usually in a 3-row, you get pretty terrible leg room in the back. And the seats in the back can be fairly uncomfortable. What's this? Go up. It's not bad, but it definitely feels like it's not made for adults. Also, this part here, that's not very much padding in this area, to be honest. And then look at how much gap there is underneath my legs. And I can't put my legs any flatter than that. That's right up against here. So I'd say 12 years old and under. As soon as they're old enough to live on their own, they can go buy their own darn car. Otherwise, no complaining. Out we go. And let's see about flipping this up. How do you? I don't know. That should be easier. You should be able to just flip it, but it's locked in there. Okay, just a 2-hand thing. Oh, and ISOFIX. Everybody wants some ISOFIX. Even if you don't think that you want it, you never know. You can open it glass style or whole hatch style. There's a button right here for glass style. It's neat. Of course, it's more expensive for Ford to have something like that. But this line here is like 120 centimeters away from the ground, or 130. So to lift stuff up, you might as well be opening the whole thing. unless you don't have the space to open the whole thing. But it doesn't look like it comes out very much. Okay, with these seats here, it's basically no cargo room. Pull this to flip the headrest down. And then in here, pull that to flip the seat forward. This is easy. One hand. You can hold the baby in one arm and actuate the seats in the other. All good. And cigarettes. Yeah. I like how the ashtrays in the back where only the 12-year-olds can fit. It's paid for by the Cigarette Company of America. We want to get your kids smoking cigarettes at a young age. Okay, all done. That's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and have a nice day.